Katie, where are you at? It's time to tell the truth.
Here I am.
There's Katie. Alright, if you've seen the last video, we shared a lot of myths and truths, and we asked you to guess which one was which. So this is going to be the video where we tell you the truth. We got lots of fun and interesting comments. There was a lot, kind of a variety, a lot of the same ones. A lot of people said, well, I know all those were truths because y'all couldn't lie. And I thought that was a cute comment, so we're going to reveal to you what's the truth.
Could we lie?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we're going to find out.
I guess I'm going to go first. We're just going to do it in the order of the first video. Now, of course, if you haven't seen the first video, this one is not going to make much sense. So we'll leave the link in the description so you can watch that. It will be funner for you if you watch that first and kind of get to guess about the myths and the truths before we give you the answers right now.
Before we tell you right now. Okay.
So I've got my phone with our statements here, and we're just going to go and tell you the truth. So I'm going to go first. We'll do it in the order of the last video.
Okay, Corey, let's go.
Number 1. I once packed John Conley's bus up after a concert. This is true. So we're going to give you a little backstory, and we'll try to be quick so we don't make this video 2 hours long, but we'll give you a little bit of backstory to the ones that are false and the ones that are true. So several years ago, at a place that our parents actually both worked at the time, a local community college, they had John Conley there, and it's not like this college was a regular concert venue, so it was kind of strange to begin with, just to be honest.
Strange.
And yeah, but there really wasn't that many people there, so we got our picture with him. If we find that, we'll put it in here. And afterwards, the maintenance man, which one of those was our dad, helped him pack his bus, and we were there, so we helped clean up, we helped pack the bus. You know, of course, he got back on the bus, so we didn't really talk to him much after that.
But, you know, like, I learned this traveling with Donna and Michael. Those buses have big slides that pull out under them, like storage, and that's where a lot of the equipment goes.
So we helped wheel it out for them to put it under the bus. That was pretty neat.
I not only got my picture made with him and his autograph, I also, after the concert was over and they were cleaning up and sweeping the stage, he had a water bottle that he was just water that he was drinking on stage, and on the top of the water bottle would have been the cap, the lid, and I found a water bottle, little plastic lid that said JC on it, John Conley. And I have it here somewhere. I took it home as a souvenir. I don't know where it's at. I was just thinking about that.
That is funny.
Cool.
Number 2 for me was that I met Merle Haggard. This is actually a myth. However, we did meet his son Marty, and I can't remember if we did a video directly about that. I know we had footage of that concert in a Day in the Life at some point on the channel, but that was really cool. We got to meet his son. He has several sons, but this son Marty looks a lot like him, sounds like him. That was really cool.
He was very nice. I got his autograph, and
we got a picture with him too. We'll put
my guitar pick is a Marty Haggard guitar pick. Thank you. I play with it every day.
Alright, number 3. My first career choice was a dirt track race car driver. Y'all, this was totally true. I went through a period of this when I was in maybe like 7th or 8th grade where I was obsessed. We have a local dirt track that's not far from us. And me and Katie and Dad would go like every Friday, and then we would even travel to some of the other ones in the areas. For whatever reason, like I was obsessed. I couldn't even drive a stick shift at that point. I still can't drive a stick shift. But I was obsessed with it. That was what I wanted my career to be.
I was right behind Corey in that.
Yeah. Number 4, I graduated with a bachelor's in finance. I can't even do basic math, y'all, so I definitely didn't graduate with a bachelor's in finance, but I did graduate with a bachelor's of art. Number 5, as a child, I convinced my doctor to change my name on my medical records. This is true. Maybe not on my permanent medical records, but I know at least for the medical records that were in that pediatric office, I wanted to be called Cotton Candy. So that I asked him to change my name on those, and he did. That was pretty fun.
That's funny. Cracks me up.
Next one, I was obsessed with public restrooms as a child. That is false. We were terrified of public restrooms. Mom said that if we were out somewhere and we had to go to the bathroom, she just had to take us home. We would not use a public bathroom no matter what. I still hate public bathrooms. If I have to hold it to the point of great pain, I will. I can't stay in public restrooms, and it's not just because they're gross. I mean, no one likes using a public bathroom, but I don't know. It's like almost a fear of them. So I'm definitely not obsessed.
I'm the same way. I will also not use public restrooms, so I try to go before I leave the house.
Number 7, I touched one of Dale Earnhardt's cars. That is actually true. So along the same time that I was very interested in being a dirt track race car driver, about in the 8th grade, we took a school trip to the Outer Banks.
OBX.
OBX. And we went a lot of places out there, different museums, and I'm not sure why this museum had one of his cars, but it did. And you could walk right up to it, and they just had one of those just, what do you call them? It's like a rope.
It's like a velvet rope, essentially.
Yeah, basically. And that was all that stood between me and this car. Well, I knew that I would probably never see another one of his cars again. And so I was like, oh, I'm just taking pictures. I'm coming, y'all, you know. And everybody else kind of went on. And I like looked left, I looked right. And I was like, no one's. And out went my little arm.
I remember that because I looked behind and Corey was leaning over the rope. And it was all she could do to not be toppling over. She was leaning so hard. And I just
so
was
desperate.
Like... Fun fact, I also later touched one of Dale Earnhardt's cars. Now, I'm not sure if this was actually, I have to say this. I'm not sure if this was a car made to look like his or if it really was one of his, but I was at a car show once. And I took a picture of it. And of course, when nobody was looking, I went, touch the car so I could say I could. I think it probably was one of his cars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Me and Uncle Paul were at a car show.
Well, that's cool. We can both say that. That was just too much of an opportunity to pass up there. And I would have touched one of Richard Petty's, but it was kind of down in this recessed part, and like I would have fell over the railing. But I tried. Wow. I definitely tried. So number 8, it took me only an hour to learn to ride a bicycle. This is false. It took me a long time to ride a bicycle, and it made me incredibly angry.
Let me tell you a very interesting story about Corey. And if you know her, then this is something that you could never let her live down. When we were kids, Mama tried to teach us both how to ride a bicycle at the same time. I took on to it so I could ride a bicycle. And we were camping at a place called Rattler's Ford. We were camping over there. And we were in a great big open grassy field. And that's a great place to learn to ride a bike.
Yeah.
So I'm over there trying really hard. And there's some other campers around. And they're being really, I don't even know these campers, but they're being very supportive. Like, yeah, you got this. Being very encouraging. And I was feeling great. And I was doing pretty good. You know, I was getting to where I could ride a little bit on my own. Occasionally I'd fall off. But I was very excited. And I'm not kidding when I say this. And you'll be like, that's physically impossible. No, it's not. We were probably like 7 maybe when we were learning how to ride a bike. And Corey could not get the hang of it, could not stay on it. And she got so mad. She got off her bike, threw it down, just pushed it down as hard as she could. And I'm not lying. I know what I saw. She picked it up. She went over there and picked the bike up and lifted the bike over her head and slung it and threw it. And I was like, we're 7. How could you have picked that bike up? Which, of course, now, like...
It would have been a really lightweight bike.
We could have picked it up with one hand, but as children, I'm not lying. I watched Corey do that. She picked her bike up and lifted it over her head and threw it in a fit of rage and bent one of the handlebars, if I remember. So, yeah, Corey did not learn in an hour. I probably did. I stuck with it, but Corey destroyed her bike. So,
I did.
Really wish I could share that memory because you guys would get a crack out of it.
Let's see, I've got 2 more here. I did not start our YouTube channel. That is actually true, and we've mentioned that on the channel before. Several years ago, it's been a good while back ago, our cousin Ben actually started it for us, and we didn't really start kind of pursuing YouTube until December of 2020, so not long ago, but of course we've got lots of video from the past where our mom posted it or Ben posted it, so that's kind of an interesting thing. I've got one more here, the last one. I held the record in high school for opening my locker the fastest. That is definitely false. I'll tell you what happened there. There was only 2 times we had lockers. Middle school, I learned how to do it. High school, by that time, I hadn't used a locker, and we only had lockers in high school for like the last 3 months of our senior year.
And we're not explaining it.
Yeah, we're not going to explain that because
long.
we switched schools. That's a whole other really crazy story.
We'll do that one day.
Yeah, we'll do that one day. But I couldn't figure it out that fast, and I was always pressured trying to get to the next class because the school was really big, and the hallway was so big they called it the Green Mile because the flooring was green, and I just left it open all the time. Well, because I left it open, people put trash in my locker all the time.
I was one of them.
Yeah, I would open it and find milk cartons, so it's not nice, but I would just open my locker, get the trash out, look for the next open one, and just pass the trash on. So I never did end up shutting my locker. And I know a lot of people are probably like, didn't you worry that your stuff would get stolen? I mean, it never did. And if people stole my textbooks, I was like, good, maybe I won't have to read these.
I was pretty good at doing a locker. I should have taught you how to.
I mean, I could have learned it. Like I said, I only had them in middle school, and then we had just like 3 months before our graduation, and I was like, look, at this point... Yeah. I always had my purse or my lunchbox on me. I was like, I don't even care at this point. So that is my myth and my truths. This has been such a fun video to get to do. So now, Katie, I will pass the phone to you.
It's my turn. Find out. When was I telling the truth and when was I lying? Number 1, I'm related to Elvis. Yes, we found out that we actually are. Like a week ago, a very nice gentleman sent us a screenshot of the family tree on how we're related to Elvis. And I think Dad is like seventh cousins with him. And so it would be something like Dad's 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, probably 6th great grandfather married a woman whose sister is in Elvis's tree. So it was the sisters how we're related to Elvis. And the interesting thing about that is Elvis has 1 S in Pressley. We have 2. And finding out that we're related to Elvis corroborates the story that I've heard from Papaw my whole life, which Papaw says that somewhere back in the Pressley family line, there was 2 brothers who got in a fight and decided to disown each other. One took 1 S, one took 2. So that makes sense. I'm like, I can say that's right. Papaw's story means we're related to Elvis. This man's ancestry screenshot.
That's
we're related
pretty
to Elvis.
cool because people always ask if we are. So now we have to think that maybe like a little bit of our musical ability comes from Elvis. Isn't that cool?
Elvis. It is cool. It's kind of crazy. And Dad's cousin Angie, I recently found out, told me, she's like, they always told us we were related to Elvis. See, we never knew. They were always like, I doubt it. When I say they, Mom and Dad, they're like, we don't know. Probably not. No, not that we know of. But apparently Dad's cousin Angie said that they always told her they were related.
Wow.
I said, Angie, I'll let you know when the royalties come in. If you're watching this video. Okay. Number 2. As a child, I entered art contests and won them all the time.
That is false because I won them. Look, this was so sad. Katie was more like the artist as far as drawing and painting and that kind of stuff goes. Well, Katie's more creative than I am in general. I mean, that's just the truth. And she was drawing and painting lots of stuff as a kid, and we did that too. And they had lots of little art contests at school and things that you could enter. And poor Katie would get so excited and enter them, and her art was way better than mine, so she should have won. I didn't care at all, and it's like they made you do it at school, and I was just like, whatever. And then I always won them, and Katie didn't, and it was so sad.
Not only would Katie get upset, Katie could get really angry as a kid. I was making fun of Corey throwing the bike. I could also do things like that. So yeah, I always wanted to win because I just took it too serious. Like I take everything too serious. I was like, I put my heart and soul in this. And Corey was just like,
But Mom said it was just sad because I didn't care, and you did, and I always
cried.
You didn't.
It was sad. So, okay, there's that one. Number 3. My high school was on lockdown the same day for a tornado warning and an active shooter. That's true. That was a really rough day. We had really bad weather front move in, and so there was a tornado watch, which, to be 100% honest, I should have been more afraid of the shooter, but I was more afraid of the tornado.
Tornado was first before the shooter.
Yep. So we were kind of watching the weather there because a nasty storm was moving in.
They put us all out into the hallway.
They did. They put us all out in the hallway. Because they were kind of, I forgot all about that part. I was in I must have, back in the recesses of my mind, thought those were 2 separate. But no, they did happen. They put us all out into the hallway, and I'm panicking. Because if anybody knows me, my top 3 fears are a toilet overflow, and I'm terrified of toilets that overflow. Tornadoes, like weather events, and, I don't know, assailants trying to kill me in my sleep. So we're in the hallway, we're terrified, and then they say we got to take you out of the hallway and put you in the classroom because this shooter's running around. What it was is somebody robbed a gas station next door to the campus.
And they didn't know where they went, so they just had to.
And what actually happened is he got in a car and went the very opposite direction of the school.
But they didn't know that at the time?
But they didn't know that at the time. So they moved us from the hallway, so I'm thinking, well, we might be safer in the classroom from the shooter, but if the nader comes, it'll definitely rip us up. So it was just a scary time, but no, the shooter was gone and the nader never came. So all in all, we were safe, but it was just a scary day to have both one day around.
At one time, kind of.
So, okay, number 4, I graduated with a bachelor's of rodent biology. No, I did not. I may know a lot about rodents, but I didn't graduate with, I took a lot of biology classes, but I didn't graduate with a degree in rodent biology. I graduated with a bachelor's of art.
Just like me.
Yeah, that's just funny.
Yeah, we just had to throw that one in there to see.
Yeah, because we've had so many squirrel and rat stories, and squirrels are tree rats.
We might trick some people.
We thought we might trick some people. That's funny. Number 5, I used to read my poetry at poetry readings. That's true. I have a whole big thick book of poems I wrote when I was probably 10, maybe. I was going to say like 10, 11, possibly younger. And I just used to love to write poems. What I would do is I would just go up on the bank above the house and sit down next to a tree and just write my heart out. And I loved doing it. And so I had this little book, and I'd have to go searching to find the book. I don't know where it's at. It's here somewhere. And now when I read over them, I'm like, oh, so embarrassed, Mom. That's
sweet.
dumb. But I still like to write poetry, and I have another book of a few poems and things like that I've wrote in my adult recent years. And I'm like, they're not half bad. Maybe one day I'll get brave and share them. Number 6. Our dad was born at a baseball game. No.
But he sure told us that he was.
He told us, so that's a myth, but our dad told us lots of times when we were little, and I believed him when we were little.
He told us all kinds
He said he was born in a trash can outside the Braves stadium.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, at a Braves game outside a stadium. And I'm like, that's terrible. That's not true. You're born in a hospital like all the other babies. Yeah. But he told us that because he thought that it would be funny.
When we were little, we believed it. He would jerk our leg about all kinds of things.
Yeah, because we were so gullible.
We were.
It's sad, and to be 100% honest, Corey's gotten a little smarter, but I've not changed a whole lot. It's embarrassing. Okay, number 7. I was always terrified of being buried alive. That is true. I lost many. It was probably some sort of, I don't know, chronic fear I had as a child of being buried alive. I really believed I would lay down in my bed at night and go to sleep and wake up in a coffin. And I would get so upset that I would probably 4 or 5 times a week I'd be throwing up because it would be an anxiety-induced attack. And I was okay in the daytime. I never thought about it, but when I laid down at night to go to bed, that's all I could think about. And I'd get so upset I'd throw up. Mom and Dad always thought I had stomach virus. No. It was self-induced panic and anxiety. It was sad because it went on for years and years. And when I'd lay down to go to sleep, every time I heard the house crack or I heard any little noise, I'd yell. Our bedroom door, it's me and Corey shared a room all those years ago. We were in bunk beds. Our bedroom door, we left it open. And I would yell across the hall and be like, Mom, did you hear that? Dad, did you hear that? And to be 100% honest, I can't think about it too hard right now because if it could come back in. Even as an adult, I could let that sneak back in and I'd be scared again. So on to the next. Number 8. I brought a cat home and our parents let us keep it.
Part of it's true, part of it's false.
I brought a cat home, but our parents did not let us keep it.
No, we got in big trouble for that.
Yeah, we went to and this was a fun, like, friendly, like, family gathering that we were at. We were just at a bonfire.
We stayed out later than we were supposed to.
Yeah, and
part of it was the cat. Because we had this cat, and, you know, what are we going to do with this poor cat?
Right, so I found a cat in somebody's wheel well. It was in our
wheel well. It was in the Forerunner.
I guess it was in our wheel well.
Hanging out in there.
Yeah, and cats will do that sometimes, trying to get out of the rain. So if you think there's cats around, you should check your car before you start it and drive off. So I'm like walking out to the car at night and I'm like, there's a really weird like orange yellow shadow in our wheel well that's not usually there. What's that? And it was a cat. It was a kitten. And I don't know what possessed me to think I could have that cat, but I wanted it. And I picked it up and thought, oh, you're so cute. And I wanted to keep it. So I decided I was going to keep it. So we were headed to this it was just like a little get together that people were playing music. It was like a little bonfire. And I grabbed that cat, stuck it in the car and took it with us. And we drove on down to the bonfire, and I showed up with this cat, and everybody's like, why do you have a cat? And I told them, I'm like, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to name it Tucker because I think that's cute and all that kind of stuff. Well, we brought it home. So we showed up later than we should have because we were trying to figure out what to do with the cat. So we come home late, and Mom and Dad get up, and they're like, what are you doing? And then we're trying to hide the cat in my room, and they're like, you have a cat. Is that why you come home late? And we're like, yeah, because we were trying to figure out what to do with the cat. We want to keep it. Needless to say, Mom's like, well, hope your cat was worth it. You're grounded and get rid of that cat. So the next day, I had to take the cat back.
But we took it back, and there was someone there. His mom took it. And that cat, I mean, as far as I still know...
She has it.
She still has it. So it had a great life. I mean, we took it back and made sure that it would have either went to a shelter or went with somebody so that it was safe.
Yeah, somebody, and they named it Keith.
But we had a dog, and that's why Mom and Dad didn't want a cat. It's not that Mom and Dad like are cat haters, but we had a dog, and those don't always mix that well.
No. But I kind of like to think that my heart being in the right place allowed this woman to have this wonderful cat named Keith, whom she loves very much. Yes. So it worked out. It really did. Number 9. I had salmonella as a child. It's true.
The day I was leaving the hospital with salmonella, Katie was going in.
We both got salmonella, and they couldn't figure out how we got it other than we were disgusting little kids, and we ate something outside, licked some raw eggs on. I mean, who knows what we did.
Yeah, and they thought it was salmonella.
And you were throwing up and couldn't hold nothing down, right. And sick and
we
dehydrated.
Were sick like that for like a week or two, and finally the mom took us to the pediatrician and
she thought we had, it wasn't a week or two, it's probably like 4 days,
a couple
5
days, right?
And she thought it was
just
a bad
stomach bug. But then it was like, actually this, and then he's like, yeah, we're just going to admit you to the hospital.
And we never got better, and then we were getting so dehydrated. So the day Corey come out, they put me in. They had such a hard time doing poor Corey's IV in the hospital that they decided the next time around they were going to do my IV in the doctor's office and then send me over to the hospital. So here I am thinking I'm just going to the doctor. And I'm like, all right, let's just go to the doctor. They fooled me good.
Who knows where we got salmonella from?
No, but we got it. We both made a little hospital stay for a few days.
That was not fun. I would like to not ever get salmonella again. I cannot recommend it.
I can actually, even though we were little, like 5 or 6, I remember it, and it was brutal.
It was bad.
So, don't recommend getting food poisoning or some sort of sickness. Don't lick things that you shouldn't be licking, and you won't have that happen. Okay, number 10, the last one. We were never separated at school, like grade-wise, class-wise. That's a myth. We were separated. They separated us until the 4th grade. And then in the 4th grade, my mama said, I can't do this. It's 2 different sets of homework, 2 different sets of
it's too hard.
Everything.
When they could be in the same grade. Now, it'd be different if we were like 5 years between us and we couldn't be in the same grade. But we were the same age. So why not keep us in the same grade and have the same projects and make it way easier?
Same class schedule, same little class parties.
Yeah.
All the little events would have been at the same time instead of twice. Of different things. So that's it. And actually, from the 4th grade on, we were never separated.
And we were so much never separated that in college, we actually had kind of one of the, I don't know if you would say like mentors, just people, we didn't have this person as a teacher, but that help you kind of get your degree. They said that, they asked us that we did know that we were getting 2 degrees and not 1.
Isn't that mean?
Yeah, it's not very nice. So that's how much, we were pretty much almost in every single class, maybe save for 1 or 2, all the way from 4th grade
to
until college.
And I said, you know what? You're just jealous that you don't have a best friend.
Oh.
If you had a best friend like I did, you would have spent all your time with her too, and you're just mad you ain't got one, and that's what this is about.
And in college, it was expensive where we went to college, and thankfully we were able to commute. We just lived about 30 minutes away, and we had one car that we shared, and that was our parents' car, really. I mean, Mom had to buy another car for us to even be able to go to college, so we didn't really have the money. We didn't have, like, the resources to be able to, take 2 separate classes unless we would just both go on the same day and then one person just be there for hours and hours and not be in class.
And we wanted to be together. We loved each other and we were friends. And once we pointed out, well, wait a minute, it ain't no different than 2 students getting the same degree that aren't related, that changed their mind. So it all worked out. We were able to be together. We graduated together. We've been together ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since 4th grade. So that's our truth and myth. I hope you found those interesting. I hope everybody liked that. And I think there might have been some surprises in there for some people.
Yeah, reading through the comments, it was so interesting because some of the people were like spot on. I'm like, man, how do they know this? They must really watch us a lot. And then some people were kind of a mix, and it was really interesting. But especially with some of the ones where I felt like we tricked people, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is funny. So thank you for watching this video. This has been really fun, maybe just to get to know more about us.
That's right. So without further ado, God bless you, God keep you, God watch you.
Don't lie.
Yeah, don't lie. It's not good.
Tell the truth.
Unless it's for a video like this when you really do tell the truth and the lies don't hurt anybody.
Pause right there. We've got chocolate to end this video.
Oh.
In this chocolate over there across the room the whole time.
How disappointed would you be to find out for breakfast I ate like 3 of these? See, that bag will last me months, and I'll allow myself like 3 at a time.
Oh my gosh, these are so good.
I know. I have gum in my mouth, but I'm going to eat them anyway. Makes me feel better. It's like I have a reason to do it because Corey was doing it. I might have not done it by myself, but...
God bless you. Bye.
Bye.